The average coaching business has a client success rate of below 20%. Crazy. Some even below 10%. That means only 1 out of 10 people will actually make it. And that is very low. But shouldn't they supposed to actually help people, Diego? Well, they should, but most of those coaching companies, they forgot after a while why they started the business and that they're supposed to actually help people. And once they scale, it actually becomes harder to help the mass. Because if I help one specific person, it's much easier than if I help hundreds of people achieve a specific outcome. And that is the problem. A lot of these offers are really good in marketing and sales, but forgot that people join because of the outcome, not the fancy video training or, let's say, live calls. People buy the outcome. And it comes down to your processes, how you make that happen. And in this video, I want to break that down a little bit more in detail. So by the way, if you never heard about me, my name is Diego. I'm from Switzerland. I operate different 6- and 7-figure coaching offers since the last couple of years, like 5 years plus in the market. And in this video, again, we're talking about client success. So this was back when like 3 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago, when I built my first coaching offer with Nick, we had a problem with that. We had a problem with client success, exactly the same. I think we were not even tracking it, or definitely below 20%. And that's where I felt guilty. I felt guilty because we sold the offer and we didn't even help people in detail. Or not to misunderstand, we tried to help people, but the outcome was not what we expected. Like, not that many people actually made it, even though all the information was there. And I realized that we just need to become better how we provide information. And one of the things I want to start talking about is your whole offer need to be gamified and simplified. So again, since people buy an outcome, your whole offer needs to be broken down into a system, one core system, and that starts with a roadmap. So one of the best ways that you will make your offer better is creating a roadmap from A to B, right? Basically from starting point to end point, and be very, very clear what's the goal. What is the outcome of your offer? Some coaching offers don't even have an outcome. They say, we help you just grow your company. That makes no sense as a coaching offer. For a service, that might work, but for an offer like a coaching offer, it doesn't make any sense, because if people join, you have no idea at what point people don't know at what point they're actually successful. And then they are never successful, even though they're better than before, and then they never really feel that the offer actually helped them, even though it had a huge impact, right? So define what's success, okay? So once you define what's success, let's say we help people to 10K a month, that is our key goal, then it's very clear. And then with the roadmap, all you gotta do is build a map with what do people actually need to get to that 10K mark, okay? And that way, it will break down all of the core milestones that you have, and you can gamify it with levels. So for example, if you help people go from 0 to 10K, that is very defined, it's very clear. And then the next thing you want to do is, what do they need? Okay, they need to set up their company, they need to do X, Y, Z, let's say marketing, this and that. Those are the milestones. And then the levels is, level 1 is when they join, they learn the basics. Level 2 is where they market themselves. Level 3 is where they close the first deals. Level 4 is the end, where they actually achieve their goals. So you break it down in these levels, in these milestones, and that's how you really have like a system, like systemized coaching, where you actually achieve outcomes much faster. That's exactly what we did with VBA, the offer that we launched, where in the beginning we didn't even know what client success was and how it works, but over time then became really good in it. And we went from like nothing or below 20% for sure in client success rate to up to 50% plus in client success. Now keep in mind, you could still say, wait, that's just every other person that made it. But again, the average coaching company is below 20%, 50% is more than double. And also keep in mind, I'm counting, or client success means everyone joining your offer versus everyone that achieved it. That includes people that are ghosting you, they just gave up, or people leaving for no reason, or people just don't understand or not do anything, for example, that you teach. So for example, if I would even hold people accountable, they were just not doing anything, or again, give up. And then at this point, what can you do, right? You can't control people. And yeah, it's their decision. So therefore, you're always limited, but accountability is definitely a good keyword for success, because that's another way how we implemented, or another thing we implemented that helped us shift client success, right? We had this milestone level-based system that I invented. I literally invented it by just trying to understand how we can help people. And then the coaches that we had helped people, or client success managers help people hold them accountable. And all of that combined then helped us to go from, like almost 0 or below 20% to 50% in client success. And why that is such important, by the way, for your business. I should have mentioned this way earlier, because you might already stop the video here, but it is actually so important, because client success will define how fast you can upsell a person. Why? Because when you make a person successful within, let's say, 2 months instead of 6 months, which your offer length is, you can upsell them after 2 months instead of after 6 months. So you're collecting money faster. And if you talk to any entrepreneur, they will always tell you, yeah, that's very good. I always want to collect more money faster, right? And it's just the easiest way to make more money in general, right? But it also creates a longer LTV, or a bigger LTV, because no matter how much you help people, they only stay for an average amount of time. So it's faster, you can help level them up and collect more money in a shorter period amount of time than as more money you collect overall, and as bigger your LTV is per, like your LTV is per customer. That is the key thing. So I hope this kind of makes sense, but that's what you need to understand going into client success. And then again, you definitely need some sort of like support versus accountability. You definitely need to know exactly what you need to help people with, because otherwise you kind of make it way too complicated and you help them on everything, which is not needed. And what else do I think? Well, yeah, again, you should focus on your client success, because again, only your LTV can grow only then when you make people successful. Because I'm not going to buy from you again if you don't actually help me with what you promised me. Let's say I buy your offer, you promised me to go help me go from 0 to 10K, but you actually didn't, and I only make 1K now. I'll probably not buy from you again, even though you helped me a little bit, but I'm not fulfilled. But if you help me actually go to 10K, and you have another offer for me to go from 10K to 25K, I would probably buy it, right? And then once you come to an end of client success, right, and help people get success, you need to invent new offers that goes into the new need of customers. So when I go from 0 to 10K, I am in a different situation. I have different needs, and that's what you need to build your new offer on. But I will mention this in another video, but that is kind of what I believe client success is, and how you can use it for different ways how you can improve it or use for your coaching offer. That's how I helped a lot of companies improve client success. And again, it comes down to this and tracking that actually. So if you don't track client success, drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm happy to share with you how you can do that, but it's absolutely crucial. You have to know what's your client success rate. Like some coaches don't even know. So please track that. It's important, and it will help you actually make more money, okay? So yeah, that is it for this video. If you thought it's helpful, drop me a comment, or if you want to see or hear about another video, how maybe I operate different offers, or something within that. I'm usually talking about fulfillment. That's what I do for my clients. Let me know, and see you in the next one.